Good morning. Welcome back. It was a good extra day. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I did. I can cut to the chase here. Turn off the computer. Let's wait for tomorrow. Other than a few things gapping around, nothing, nothing much happening here. I mean, it's just inside days, but let's take a look at the charts. Things aren't moving much, just wiggling around. All right. So news this morning, tech stocks under pressure. No kidding. Um, They've been going down for a while. However, they showed relative strength. Well, software. This is the software sector. I've got the chart over here. Um, but they did go down last week, but not to the extent so many other things went down. And so the AI debacle, right? The curse or the evolution of everything is cutting both ways. And so there were a lot of stocks that got decimated last week. And if you look at the charts, there were ones that did not show an expectation for a problem. I mean, they were doing well, and then that news came out, and they just got shellacked. So I'm looking at things that have gotten shellacked, but gotten climactic. And let's see, this is just trading inside of Friday's range. You see where my cursor is as I move it where prices are. This little gray area is, pre-market. And so this is holding here. And maybe, I don't know what it's going to do, but look, I'm just looking for some kind of potent bar here. Maybe it goes down. At the end of the day, we've got a bottoming tail bar. In other words, I'm looking for a candle that's much more convincing than these. And that is accompanied by a range expansion bar, which is just by definition, a range expansion, a big one. So maybe we get a sell-off today. You can see everything's pretty much red here. Bonds are up a little bit, so interest rates are going down again. We get some kind of move down that flips back up again, and that would be a convincing pattern. And when you get a retest and wide range bar, could be a bottoming tail bar, could be a big green bar, but a retest after a climactic move and a range expansion bar, that pattern is no brainer for credit spreads. When I say no brainer, that means it's such a high probability that it's almost unimaginable that it's going to fail. It's just such a high probability historically. So we don't have that pattern right now. So today's going to be, let's wait and see what it can do. See a little bounce up here, but just inside day. Nothing's happening here. So let's look around other markets. So here is the NASDAQ futures. And they came down. I'll say it again 100 times. I just need a recording. Look to the left. And that 200-day moving average, the red line was lined up with that pivot low. And so as it came down there, a bunch of days down, came down there, buyers were down there. And this is a great example of what you should be looking at as an intraday trader, meaning preparing for the day. Reference points. Just look to the left. And if prices are falling, sharply, right, into an area where they've bounced from before, prices are extended. If you're an indicator person, your oscillator is oversold, but it's coming down to the reference point. And now you go down and you look at your smaller time frame and you look for a pattern, bar by bar analysis to suggest buying. And so that can take very different pictures. Right? We're picture traders, and we look for a bounce. So as this turned down last week violently, I'm looking down here and nothing's happening right now. So I don't know whether it's going to make a higher low. Ideally, it'll come down here. So as we plan our day, I look for reference points to the left, and this is an obvious reference point. I don't see, right, based on the pattern, that this is going to rally all the way back up here to provide an opportunity. and it hasn't consolidated long enough to present me with an opportunity. You can see the 65-minute chart. It's just hanging here, doing a lot of nothing. So maybe it bounces up a little bit, but it doesn't have a void. So this isn't a great opportunity either. Let's look at YM. Okay. Um, another inside day so far. The day is young, but trading inside the prior day's range. There's nothing happening. If it falls down here, ideally it falls down here. Right? We want it to come down here. And if I don't think that's going to happen today, right? It's just a thought, but if it's to come here, that would present us with a buying opportunity intraday. From a swing trading perspective, this is just total garbage. A lot of overlapping bars, tails, spike up, back down. It's in the middle of that bullish wide range bar. It's just nothing. Right, so we move on. S&Ps. Here's something with a better opportunity, potential opportunity. So it came down real hard. Stabilization for the moment. Doesn't have a lot of room to go up. So that's not what I'm looking for. It's a better opportunity for it to go down. So we look to see it chop around here, and then does it make a nosedive down to the next level? It's somewhere down here. And that, that would be better for prices to drop down there and then begin to do this type of jiggles and turns. But right now, it's just trading inside the other part of the range. And, as I'm looking at this, of course, it creates thoughts based on the pattern. And a move like this from an area of resistance and then a consolidation where it doesn't flip all the way back up again could be a measured move lower, which would project it much lower than this. I don't, we'll see how today sets up. But, what I see right now is a lack of opportunities so far. All right. Maybe YM. Not YM. The Russell here. Another inside trading within the prior range there. Nothing going on there. It's not attractive. Resistance, not too far off. Support, not too far off. That's why I jokingly said, turn off the computer, go do something else. All right. Now, here's where the opportunity is going to be, and you'll see in a second. And I would call it a no-brainer. Top of the range, bottom of the range. The news came out. It jiggled around here a little bit. And then I double check those numbers. I think they're still okay. Anyway, prices are just hanging down there. And there's not any significant news. I don't think they're going to do much. They're just going to back and forth to see where they can push the market one way or the other. And this number, right? The markets aren't moving much. It held on Friday. This number didn't move that much from Friday, which means the sentiment is still extremely bearish for this not to move very much from where it was. And it's so far away. I mean, it's borderlines on ridiculous. And I've used that term in the past, and prices have hit at far levels. But this is even further than, there was one or 2 days last week. And these extremes rarely get hit. But the top ones were more likely, but it was the bottom one that got hit last week in this big down move. And this kind of moves, they're rare where they happen like that. Anyway, the top number is up above 6,900, and that has been the middle of this range, give or take a little bit. So on the other side of 6,900 is relatively safe. Down here, below, well, it could easily hit 6,800, but then to get through 6,750, 67, I think anything below 67 is a no-brainer. Right? You've got pivot lows, you've got another pivot low, you've got half numbers where there's going to be clusters of a lot of option activity there. And it's an options expiration week. So any move that intraday is extreme, it's likely to be reversed to some extent where it pulls it back in the other direction, could be towards 6,800. So a move down to 6,750, give or take, if that's in the cards today. I would, look for longs. Ideally, look, it's just wash, repeat. That let's do this. Look, see that pivot low down there below 6,750. You want send an alert there, whether it gets hit today or tomorrow. You want to be aware of that pivot low if it comes down there, especially as an intraday trader. If I see this nosedive down there, of course, we're going to want to try and take advantage of the nosedive. But once it gets down there, and if, again, as an intraday trader, use the NYSE tick extreme, if that hits an extreme coming down there, and then you go to your smaller time frame and look for that stabilization. Okay. I think, I don't know if you wanted to see this.
But Greg,
go ahead.
Yeah, if you want to mark the lines so I can put it on WhatsApp, social media.
Like that?
Yeah, like you do every day. Just where's the green and red line and put strike and call strike.
Oh. There's that one, and there's that one. There's the green one down there, 6750, and there's the top one.
Okay, I didn't know if you were making it higher.
No. It's just the chart is just such a mess, with these overlapping bars, which is not normal. But and I've marked off 60, 68, 6850, and now I put a line there at that prior swing low.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. All right. Other markets, relatively quick here. And they're not doing much of anything either. Right. Well, that's copper. We don't talk about copper very much, but it's a metal that, comes down near that low. Gold. I was thinking over the weekend, if it could take out this high, that's a long. I want to buy it. And now it's an outside day so far. It's just noise. It's noise. Can't make sense out of noise other than to recognize it as noise. Silver's got a pivot low. So if it comes down there, I'm interested. Bitcoin, it showed a little relative strength last week. It pulled back. It's in this area. You can see the weekly chart. It's on that support area. So again, waiting for a wide range bar, some convincing like this. That's a wide range bar reversal. And this little pattern, hook pattern here, looked like maybe it could get moving. Maybe it can. But again, there's just nothing happening here. Erythrum's going to be pretty much the same, as you can see. That's just not moving either. Crude oil's not moving much either, just wiggling back and forth. So as you can see, why I said just shut off the computer and go do something else, but we're not going to do that. We're, trading junkies, of course, saying that in a affectionate way. But there's just not much going on here. Interest rates, of course, that was the big news last week, where the pattern went from this bottoming pattern, a breakout, to now diving back down below all of those pivot lows. Well, there is for you, Trent. You're always selling those naked puts, which has been, for the most part, a no-brainer, profitable trade. So kudos to you with that. But yeah, I mean, look, if the markets nosedive this morning, you come into maybe the first reversal period around 10 o'clock, and you can get on the other side of a trader pivot line. Absolutely. And so I say, and those of you, those of you on social media, join us in the green room. Dan, if you give them a link to come. But look, these trader pivot lines, you get a nosedive, and you can, if you can get premium down near another trader pivot line or below it, it's just that we're doing the same thing, meaning whole numbers, reference points, looking to the left. So if there's premium down below, this pivot here, it just tends to be a no-brainer because prices came down hard. Look at your average true range over 5 days, project that in the other direction, see if you get a convergence of price, moving averages, whole numbers, option activity. Determine where there's a likely area where prices are likely to stall or not go there. And place your trade. All yours, Dan.
Good morning. Yeah, long weekends. Charts up here. The markets were down a lot more earlier this morning. I saw the SPY down 40. Yeah, we'll see. Greg showed you silver. I mentioned on Friday that if this takes out Thursday's low, I think we're going to 60. And now it's gapping down to Thursday's low. I say 30-minute low, that's going lower. SMH, I posted, it's not a directional at all, but call spread idea. The markets keep weakening. Tech subscribers, hold on. $30-minute low on that. NVIDIA, that would have been, we had actually, I think, did a 0 DTE on Friday, and I think we did a 1 DTE on Thursday, but that's a trading range, stair stepping down on the 15. Neo alarm. Okay, it came down and came back up, so let me reset the alarm. That's a short idea. Just glancing at the times here. Netflix, and then, look at this thing just got destroyed ever since it was going after time, whatever, Warner, Paramount, fighting back. Let's go up to earnings now. Those are all the alarms I have. Actually, I just had an AJG go off. There's a lot of climbers in those sectors where AI has been killing them. So look, my alarm HAG went off. For the letter and a swing trade, we like more a multi-bar turn to give us more confidence, but day trading, this looks good. Just got to find an entry, maybe 30-minute high, some type of pullback. CRSR. You're saying above $7. I mean, that is up so much. I personally wouldn't touch it for 30 minutes delta. Because you got an 80% topping tail. You don't have a great pattern intraday. I don't know. It's not a high odds pattern I'd be focusing on. Earnings, I deleted some already. Here, before earnings, look at NOW. I put it in the bottom right here. Look, so climb up. So this is an example of where I said it was not a perfect climb out. We like them to accelerate more, faster. But look, it went sideways 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, and it's moving up. So that's a day trade and put spread idea I like a lot. Earnings, Electronic, up and down 96. No, have no bias right now. ET, 1845. This would have been a fantastic 1, 2, 3. Had we got an inside day today, but the gap down as of right now is excessive, so got to come back to it. I just had a Rost alarm up here. We're in Rost, one of our opens. We have fairly light inventory. But anything green with the market down is relative strength. I looked at the Dow 30 earlier, and there wasn't a single one of the greens that were above that was gapping up over $1. JP Morgan actually is the only one right now, $1 and change. Not a directional, but 30-minute high day trade and put spread idea. And it came down hard. Here we got 200 and support. So back to earnings VMC 302. So that gap is too big to do anything. Maybe 30-minute high put spread. We'll see. But I got no bias right now. PTE gapping up 146.50. Let's see, before it was up here at 149. And at 149, I liked it as a gap and crap. Only gapping up $2. It's still extended, but we'll come back. Thomas asking about should. It's a bull rectangle. You know, up a lot here, 25 from the 50, but it's a bull rectangle. It's worth watching. I would want the broader markets to be on our side. So, you know, let's wait 30 minutes and see what that and the broader markets look like. LDOS, piece of garbage. GPC, Genuine Parts, 136. Now, just hypothetically, I like showing you quality patterns if it were doing that. If it were gapping to 145 to 146, I'd say short a 10-minute low for a day trade and call spread. But now it's way down here at 136. So what are you gonna do with that? I mean, buyers could step up and take out a 30-minute high, or they can go sideways, and then the 50 MA looks like that's a big chip shot. I got no bias right now. GMAD 3064. It's gapping up. It's a sloppy climb up. Gonna delete you. SGI. Sure. SGI 91. All right, so that would be a good call spread idea. Gapping under a green bar like that. If there's any juice at 98, I like that one. SGI. Yeah, Stephen, we can look at yours right now. Kilo November. Bull rectangle. I'll put it on the list. Now, actually, I like that rectangle better, Thomas, than CHD because it's a little tighter. See how CHD, see it's a little, well, you got more bars on this, but you see it's sloppier, it's wider. Whereas Kilo November, yeah, that's a bull rectangle. Here's your flagpole, and it went sideways 5 bars in the upper half of this bar's range. Sky T. I don't like that at all. There's no pattern. And I don't even know if you're, Steven, thinking up or down. This Friday's low would be down, day trade. For a long, I wouldn't touch it unless it traded over last week's high and then there's no void. So I don't like that. It's a bear 1, 2, 3, but no great void under Thursday's low. Would be a call spread. Otherwise, I don't see much there unless you're day trading the 15-minute. SRRK. That could be a red bar ignored breakout over Friday's high. So I would set an alarm at 47.50, which is early, and then take a look at it. But I like when the 20 MA flattens out into a rising 50, but you get a breakout failure there. But it would be a red bar ignored. I would prefer a closing breakout. Let's finish up these earnings here. That's a sloppier breakout. I mean, see how it's tighter here. Now it's extended weekly, monthly. It's just not ions. E-Tour 31 to 44. Well, that's a bullish gap, but to resistance. If there's any juice for a put spread, but I don't like it directional. Sun C all-time highs. Let's see if it can just chop around a little bit. 23.75. It could be the start of a bottoming pattern with a downside shakeout, but I need more info. Feeling. I don't see where it's opening, but if it gaps down a little bit, call spread. KRG, bull rectangle, but far from the 20. HRI 163, gapping just below. And again, if there's no support, that could go up or down. I have no idea. LPX 90, gap on 200. I mean, that could be one. We could see if buyers want to step up. We'll come back to it. Fleur slopping around. So as Greg said, look, I'm having a hard time finding tier 1 stuff. Okay, 71. I have this one in the middle chart. This could be a gapping crapper. Gapping up almost, 10% after rallying from 40. Well, those are all the earnings. This race had positive Barron's article, but no pattern. And Sitla, positive Barron's, but no pattern. What is bucket? There's some type of news. I'm going to set an alarm. It could be a bottoming pattern on support. It has something to do with Bitcoin. Set an alarm at 11. Silver we talked about. Oh, MU. MU I like 30-minute low call spread. These things, they gotta pull back one of these days. Look at that climb on the weekly. This is not an M top, but I kind of call it a retest and failure. That with a bunch of overlapping bars, this topping tail went into it and stalled. So MU looks toppy, Sandus similar-ish. But the spreads were spready there. All right, I had a bunch of alarms go up here. XLRE. Hey, we still got a full lot. JP Morgan alarm, that was a put spread. We got a full lot, XLRE. Ross up alarm. Wow, I did not expect all these alarms going off.
AJG gapped up from a climactic buy.
Yeah, I mentioned that pre-market. That's on my Climo list for a day trade.
Mhm.
Qs are the weakest. DFIN up alarm. We bought a half lot on Friday. JP Morgan put spread. T2 alarm. All right, so I'm watching this one, but I want more of a reversal, but I like that it's a new low and stabilized. And look at the 15 looks nice. That if the markets were in a more bullish mode, I'd say, 10, 15 minute high on T2 day trade. I see coin moving here for some reason. So let's watch T2 for put spread and day trade. HFWA alarm. It's sloppy, but buys a breakout watch on this. Bullish price action at resistance. Man, I got a lot of alarms going off here. Axon, I was hoping for continued retracement and to set up a W bottom. Rost, let's see. Can we stop break even finally? If I see. Yeah, yeah, not the greatest quality, but yeah, I like the two bottoming tails. The pattern suggests it will get through this. And then, target 1750. All right, this T2, I see is moving up on the 515. Third, but I wouldn't trust a Friday put spread unless it took out the 30-minute high. NOW, check puts. Cost. Yeah, I mean, there's a few that people are watching to move. Wow, it doesn't look like a gap and craft now, does it? That looks like it's a bullish gap that that they are buying. All right, XL RE's coming in, Greg. I think I said sell a third under a prior bar.
Oh, you
What?
want they're going to be buyers on a pullback for that pattern. Let it go. It's not even near resistance. XLU, on the other hand, that
Oh,
vertical run right up near the prior high, that one I would sell at third.
Alex, yeah, that was a beautiful stop. I mean, it's short and yeah, the gap and go messed us up. Shoot. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, you didn't answer.
Well, because I'm busy. Uh, uh, yeah, that's it. Yeah, let's sell the third right here. Where do you want the stop after selling a third?
Just put an alert near Friday's low or close to
Okay.
it.
Neil messed us up. Spider put spread. 675s. Fangs, all the fangs are snapping back here off their lows. 53 cents, that ain't bad. Yeah, we're chasing a little bit here. Rally $2.50, but on a pullback, yeah. Yeah, let's watch that on a pullback. NOW, that's sloppy. Let me check the spreads. 99's 20 by 55, so nothing. Box A, yeah, sure. Yeah, and I like the tiny little pullback. Sure. Yeah, I wouldn't trust it for swing, but yeah, day trade, sure. You yeah, I'll set it at 45.80. Yeah, Fox in there. It triggered quite all right. And our D10 doing nothing. Bitcoin new low. So that probably is dragging coin down. We have this as a put spread over the high. Biggie, that was a climb but no entry. SPSC. Climo, no turn, but I'm watching it. I'll set a new alarm lower at 57. Home Depot, little breakout failure. PFFN. Yeah, that was a bull rec. Ah, this triggered. This was in the letter. Yeah, I'm behind on alerts here, but that triggered.